Hey, comic lovers, EMoney, the Old Man, and Thor, the Dog with Thunder, back here again. So we went on our at least once a week walk last Wednesday, and Thor was really good. He met some new dogs. Didn't get too close to him, but he was very well behaved. So no aggression, no growling. So that was really good. Yeah, good boy. Good boy. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I think you found the spot.
All right, so that's good on Thor. Today we're reviewing comic books from last week. We have let's see, we have a couple of we got a new Joker title that we're going to take a look at, and we got a couple from Marvel, DC, and Image. So we're going to see how they turned out, and we have our previews for this week's comics. Let you guys know what we're looking forward to, and no, sorry. I have a Stump the Old Man.
Thought I had him.
No, sorry. All right, so before we get started, does anybody want to get off? I hope not, because this is Back Issues. All right, comic lovers. So before we get started today, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on your notifications, give us a thumbs up, and if you like, leave us a comment. Let us know what you think of these issues, or give us some recommendations of what you've been reading. All right, so the week of August 4th. So we have our comic reviews. First, I want to tell you how we do this in case you forgot. So we grade these on a 5-shield rating system. We have 2 grades each, 2 scores each. One for writing and story, the other one for artwork. And then we combine those 4 scores and give it 1 average score.
And we don't talk to each other about them. We don't compare notes until we turn our scores in.
Right. All right, so first we have our mentions this week. I don't want to say honorable mentions because sometimes they're not so honorable. Sometimes we want to talk about them because they're not that good. But I think most of these are okay this week. All right, so these are the ones that barely got edged out of the top 3.
Right. So first up we have from Bad Idea, Tankers number 3. Which
all right.
I think is the last issue.
It should be the last issue of this story. If they want to continue it, they have the option to, based on the ending here. All right, so I think we talked about the first issue at least, where it's a time travel story of a big oil company has discovered time travel, and they go back and prevent the asteroid from hitting Earth and wiping out the dinosaurs for another couple thousand years.
Well, the plan was that the asteroid would be diverted and would come back around and do its damage like 100,000 years later.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have 100,000 years of dinosaurs living and dying and leaving behind their bodies to create oil.
Yeah. So how they thought that wouldn't mess things up, I have no idea. So this one is basically, the company trying to fix the problem.
Well, the problem was the comet, meteor, whatever, it didn't come back.
Yeah.
So they're still dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm. So this whole issue is pretty much a shoot 'em up splash page sort of issue, and they resolve it as best they can by the end of it here, and they kind of leave it open-ended. So some good stuff, some good artwork. I think it ended up with 3.5 shields.
Good story.
Yep.
All right, next up, a book that we always like, and this is Batman number 111.
All right. So this one is a prequel to the Future State series, where the magistrate takes over Gotham, the administration, I guess you would call it.
I'll be glad when we get past all the damage that the Future State books did, because I really did not like that.
Yeah, but we always said that of all the Future State books, Batman was probably the best of that series, even though overall we didn't like most of it.
True.
But in this one, the Peacekeeper 01, which is like the big bad of the magistrate's peacekeeping force, is going after civilians who are resisting the administration, and Batman and his allies intervene to save everyone, and I still get a kick out of Harley Quinn being part of the Bat family.
I still don't understand it, but all right, whatever.
I feel like I missed a page here because I see the splash page and I don't think I remember seeing that. But anyways, excuse me. So Batman, Harley, and a guy named Ghostmaker save a bunch of civilians and I think make some new allies in this resistance group, and working against both the Magistrate and the Scarecrow, who previously had entered in some kind of deal with the Magistrate, but now Scarecrow's kind of doing his own thing. But it's a pretty great story, good Batman stuff, and like I said, I like Harley being on the Bat team. So ends up with 3.5 shields out of 5.
All right, next up is a new comic from DC. The Joker presents a Puzzlebox, issue 1.
All right. So in this one, first of all, some pretty good artwork for most of the issue. I'll get to that in a second. Joker is in the interrogation room with Gordon, and he's recounting a story of how he ended up there. And, of course, Joker telling a story, he's going to give his whole slant on the story.
Slant?
Yeah.
Total fabrication.
Yeah. It's like, Batman and his allies, bust into the building, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, Joker. Didn't mean to disturb you. I'm just here for these guys." It's the way Joker tells the story.
Yeah, he makes it sound like him and Bats are just best buds.
Yeah. So there's that part of the story, and then there's this part here where a lot of Gotham's rogues are in this holding cell, and I'm kind of confused as to what's going on here, because I know at least 3 of these guys could get through a conventional cell without much effort.
If nothing else, they just bust out the back wall.
Right. And also there's the thing about how they probably kill each other being put in a cell like that.
I doubt everybody in that group loves each other.
Right. So I don't know what's going on here. Maybe that's part of the overall mystery here. So for part of a flashback scene, they get a new artist, which I don't know why you would get a lesser artist for a flashback scene. Just stick with what you have here.
I mean, some people might think that lesser artist is a better artist. You don't know.
I don't see why you would, but okay. So,
Eye of the beholder.
Yeah, and so what Joker is telling the story here, and what's happening overall in the story. It's confusing and misleading, and I'm hoping that they explain that.
Sure.
So,
Title of the book is
Puzzlebox.
Yeah.
So, Joker presents Puzzlebox issue number 1, 3.5 shields.
Actually, that one was 3.75.
Oh,
it didn't make the final 3 because it would have had to have been rounded up.
So rounded up, ended up with 4 shields.
Mm-hmm. All right, and the last one we're going to talk about before we get into the top 3 is a book that's been doing real good as far as we're concerned. The Nice House on the Lake. Hey, I said it right this time.
Yeah.
I usually say the
last
house on the lake or the nice house on the left. But the title is The Nice House on the Lake.
There you go.
And there's number 3. It's a black label book from DC.
All right, so this is, like you said, issue number 3. And I don't know, somehow the artwork for most of this seems to be slightly better. Like, they haven't changed the artist or anything. It's like the artist put in a little more effort, it seems to me. All right, and we always say, for the last 2 issues, that the Nice House on the Lake would be number 1 every week if it had some better artwork. But like I said, it looks slightly better here. So in the story, the survivors are trying to, I guess you'd say they're trying to get organized, a few of them. And
well, some of them seem to be perfectly happy to roast hot dogs and watch movies.
Sure.
Where one of them is going out and exploring, trying to map out the actual
shield bubble
that they're trapped inside of. It's invisible, so he has to feel around.
Yeah,
and he
it's kind of like under the dome.
Yeah,
yeah. And I assume it's a perfect circle. Did he? I think he.
Remember he said he found angles.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. So he's figuring out exactly how entrapped they are, and everyone else, wants to watch, movies and.
I won't say everybody else, but he's taking it more seriously than the rest of them. He's wanting to study all the different sculptures and to touch them to see if they get that one reaction they got from the one closest to the house.
And like many post-apocalyptic survivor stories, I mean it's kind of a character study.
Oh, it's absolutely a character study.
Yeah. So the nice house on the lake, issue number 3, 3.5 shields.
I got EMoney messing up now.
Yeah, and like we said, it would be number 1 every time.
A little bit better artwork.
If just a little better artwork. All right, so that is our top, or not our top 4, but our mentions this week. So now we are on to our top 3. All right, so how did we do it this week, old man?
Well, as always, 3-way tie. Well, not always, but most of the time there's some sort of a tie. This week it was 3 ways. We had 3 different books that got 4 shields without any rounding, just earned it on their own. So we've done about everything that I'm physically capable of doing, but we did think of one other contest we could do to determine how to decide this. We had a stare-down contest. I swear something got in my eye. And I've never been really good at stare-down contests anyway, but EMoney beat me, so he picked the order of the top 3. So, per EMoney, book number 3 this week was Geiger, issue number 5, from Image Comics.
All right. You want to play football next time?
Hell no.
All right. So, number 3, Geiger. So, Geiger and his friends have been taken by a third party who we believe is working for the former government of the United States, such as it is. And they're also being pursued by the king and his men. And when they first take Geiger in, he looks like a normal guy, but as soon as he wakes up, they find out he's not such a normal guy. And we find a revelation about one of the kids that they took in. And also, we learn that the government people might have a secret weapon for dealing with Geiger. And that's something we can look forward to in the next issue.
Well, I don't want him to be able to deal with him, so I'm not really looking forward to it.
Yep. I like some of Geiger's interaction with some of the staff here in the building. Like, he knocks out one guard, off, I don't want to say off camera, but out of the picture. And he comes in, glowing green and everything. A guard sitting there reading a book, and Geiger just looks at him like, is that a good book? I like it. Okay. And, smashes his face in. All right, so
knocks him out.
No, it doesn't kill him. Geiger, he's he can be merciful at times, but good stuff here, good artwork, and that's why he ended up with 4 shields out of 5.
All right, and per EMoney, the number 2 book is one that I wasn't going to pick up, but the guys at Comic Book World, the store manager Jacob, he read it. I think the night before that, like Tuesday night. And he said it was pretty good. He really liked it, and he recommended it. So I picked it up. It was a good call. It's Not All Robots number 1 from AWA.
All right, so brand new. It is from 2 out of the 3 people who brought us the Redemption series
which
from
we really
AWA.
liked all 5 issues of that book.
Yep. So in this, I guess, dystopian post-apocalyptic society.
Yeah, they don't really go into what happened, but
no.
Something happened because all the cities are under dome.
All the cities are like in these bubbles, and it's sort of like what would happen. It's sort of like iRobot, but if iRobot, the robots had more personality, and it's what happened. What is happening here?
It's funny because unlike iRobot, these robots aren't real happy about the fact that they have emotions, and they find a way to remove them.
Yeah.
But bottom line is the government has decided that humans can't deal with this with just day-to-day living. So there's a robot in every household, mandated by law. You have to have a robot in your household, and they go out and they earn the money, they do the work, and they do the house.
So
cleaning.
I mean, most humans, they just sit around all day. Is what it looks like to me.
It sounds like my retirement. You know, I just kick back and enjoy yourself. Pursue the arts, all that kind of stuff.
I guess. So you have a talk show where there's a robot host, and you have like a crosstalk between a robot and a human, and they discuss the politics of the day, I guess.
Yeah, mostly the pros and cons of robots.
Yeah, and you go through this one robot and his family, and
That's very interesting.
Yeah, and the what he goes through every day, both at work and with his family, and it's an interesting concept here for a post-apocalyptic story. So eager to see where they go with this.
Yeah,
so
it's just like with Redemption. I'm definitely looking forward to the next story. We gotta keep an eye on them. This creative team.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're good stuff.
So not all robots. Number 1, 4 Shields, our number 2 pick for this week.
And number 1, if you had told me that this book would be hitting in the top 3 pretty much every issue when I first picked it up, I'd have laughed at you. Because for one, I didn't know who Crush was.
No.
This is Crush and Lobo from DC Comics, number 3. Crush is Lobo's daughter.
Yep.
And like I said, I had never heard of her before.
Nope. Excuse me. All right, so in this issue, Crush finally visits her dad Lobo in prison.
This is the first time in the first three books that they're actually in the same shot. Because they didn't see each other until then.
Yep. So if you had any delusions that Lobo was a new man now and had turned over a new leaf, well, you're going to be disappointed in this issue.
He's still a dirty, rotten bastard.
Yep. So we see Crush dealing with, sort of typical relationship stuff with her girlfriend and her dad, just on a, more cosmic level. And it's an interesting, it's good writing here. I'll just say that. And we see, the kind of person Lobo really is, and we see Crush get herself into some trouble. Not get herself into some trouble.
I don't think she got herself into
Yeah, I mean, the mistake she made was agreeing to see her father.
Yep.
Yeah. So, good stuff here. Eager to see where the next issue takes us. Crush and Lobo, number 3, our number 1 pick for this week with 4 Shields.
All right, so that does it for the books that came out this week. So now let's talk about next week.
All right, what's going on?
Well, it looks like about the average week for us. I won't say it's a huge week, but it's definitely not a light week. There's the usual Miles Morales Spider-Man, Spider Shadow. We've been enjoying Eve. Number 4 comes out.
Okay.
2 new Bat books. Batman 89, number 1, which is based on back when Michael Keaton's Batman movie came out.
Oh, okay. I've been seeing ads for that. I wasn't sure we were going to get that.
And I Am Batman number 0. I'm not a big fan of the main character in this book, but it's number 0, so we'll check it out.
All right.
Now, the stuff that I think we're really looking forward to, the new Detective coming out, which we always like Detective.
Yeah. I've been enjoying it, but it seems like it's the situation is kind of, keeps running along in the same issue, and like nothing's getting resolved. So
it's a story arc, and
yeah.
I assume it's going to wrap up in the next issue or 2. But at any rate, you can't tell me you don't like the Detective books.
Oh no.
Okay, so shout.
Just let's
right.
go. Let's keep going.
Get a new Defenders number 1. Not familiar with everybody that's on the new team, but looking forward to it. The Joker number 6, or DC team up with Commissioner Gordon and the Joker.
Right.
It seems like it should be more than the Joker, because Gordon is the main character in the book.
Pretty much.
And speaking of backup characters for Batman, DC also is putting out Pennyworth number 1.
Oh,
Alfred
okay.
gets his own miniseries. Curious. We all know he has a this really interesting background. I think he was a British spy,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is kind of going to be what this story talks about. So that's all next week.
All right. So a lot of Batman titles coming out. All right. So the old man and I, we've been getting caught up on our TV shows this week. So I have a comic book TV show related Stump the Old Man question for him this week.
Oh boy.
All right. Let's head back up into the garage with Thor. All right. Back out here in the garage with Thor. And he's ready for a Stump the Old Man question, aren't you?
What do you mean he's ready?
Yeah, he's all set.
Jackass.
All right, so my Stump the Old Man question. The old man and I have recently started watching Invincible on Amazon. So I have a question to test his memory right now. All right, name the super team in the Amazon original series Invincible who died in the first episode.
Guardians of the Globe.
Okay. All right.
Hey, I gotta fess up. EMoney threw the old man a bone on that one. We just watched the first half of the first season last night.
Okay.
That was cheap, but I take the win.
But, you know, I mean, sometimes you don't remember names too well, so...
You ain't wrong.
Yeah, so, yeah, I figure I was, like, at least 50-50 on that.
Yeah, you ain't wrong.
All right.
I'm dying to find out why the Guardians of the Globe got killed.
Yep. You know, if you, you know, without giving away too much spoilers, if you haven't seen it yet, highly recommend it. You should. But, yeah, there's a big mystery over, you know, why they died in the first place. All right, so...
and they died bloody.
Yep.
Violent.
Yep, it's...
nasty.
Just because it's animated, you know, this show is not for kids, okay?
Good boy.
All right, the old man wins this round.
It was a gift, but I'll take it.
All right, so that does it for another episode of Back Issues. Let you guys know, we're going to be taking the next 2 weeks off. So sorry for any of you guys who tune in to watch our reviews because I'm going to be taking a little vacation. So I'm going to be out of town. So for the next 2 weeks, sorry, you're not going to have to get your reviews somewhere else.
Yep. No Stump the Old Man for 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, so we'll see you guys next time. Excelsior.
True Believers, next Saturday, the 14th, is Free Comic Book Day. I gotta recommend going to Comic Book World, but do what you want.